Hey there, news junkies and doom scrollers. Welcome back to News Snacks, where we break down the world's chaos into bite-sized, digestible, and occasionally hilarious pieces. I'm Taylor, your host, and today we're serving up the hottest headlines from June 16th to June 18th, 2025. Grab your popcorn, because between America, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe, it's been a week spicier than a ghost pepper taco. U.S. headlines America still not boring. Let's kick things off at home, where President Trump, yes, he's back, held a press conference that left everyone asking, did he just say what I think he said? When asked if the U.S. would support Israel's military campaign against Iran, Trump replied, and I quote, "We may or may not do something. We'll see. Maybe we'll surprise everyone. Maybe we'll just have lunch." Classic Trump, keeping the world guessing, and the press corps reaching for their Tylenol. Meanwhile, the White House hosted Pakistan's chief of staff for a working lunch. Sources say the menu was all American, but the conversation was all about Middle Eastern drama. And just to keep things interesting, the Pentagon quietly moved more ships into the Persian Gulf, because nothing says peace and stability like a few extra aircraft carriers. Israel versus Iran, Operation Rising Lion. Now, let's talk about the Middle East, because if you thought your family drama was intense, wait till you hear about this. On June 13th, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, targeting over 30 Iranian nuclear and military sites. That's right, Israel basically said, "Surprise! We brought fireworks to your nuclear party." The Israeli Air Force, with a little help from Mossad, pulled off a high-tech blitz that left Iranian air defenses looking like Swiss cheese. Iran, never one to back down, responded with Operation True Promise 3. That's right, Part 3. Because apparently, the only thing more persistent than Iran's missile program is their love of sequels. Over 150 ballistic missiles and more than 100 drones were launched at Israeli cities and military bases. Tel Aviv, Bat Yam, and even the West Bank saw explosions and air raid sirens. Well, that split-second fireball. That's what happens when your neighbors disagree national security. Israel said 95% of missiles were intercepted. Others disagreed. The US and Europe called for calm, while Hezbollah in Lebanon for now is just watching from the sidelines, probably with popcorn. Casualty and damage update. Iran, 200 plus confirmed dead, 239 civilians among them. Key sites like Natanz and Fordo hit hard. Israel, 24 to 28 dead, including bus depot strike in Herzliya, huge crater but evacuated in time. On the lighter note, I would say, if the Ayatollah is the tough guy in this club, Netanyahu's DJ'd it. Up, Trump just walked in telling everyone to hush or he'd bust the subwoofer. Ukraine versus Russia, still at war, still not friends. Meanwhile, in Eastern Europe, the world's longest, least funny sequel continues. Ukraine versus Russia, Season 3, Episode 1000. Russia keeps up its relentless missile and drone strikes on Ukrainian cities, while Ukraine, armed with the latest Western tech, is holding the line and occasionally giving Russia a taste of its own medicine. No major territorial changes this week, but plenty of explosions, a lot of international finger-wagging, and of course, sanctions. Because nothing says we're serious like a strongly worded letter and a few frozen bank accounts. June 1st saw Ukraine launch a staggering 117 FPV kamikaze drones deep into Russian rear areas. Targets included Tu-95, Tu-22M, and A-50 planes on bases like Irkutsk, Murmansk, and Amur, destroying nearly 40% of Russia's strategic bomber fleet. Tactical genius, Ukraine's using low-cost modular drones, some even AI-equipped, to force Russia into defensive scramble mode. Russian riposte. After days of heavy drone missile barrages, their frontline tactics are still messy trenches and prisoner-forced infantry. Global ripples. Why your gas prices just went up. If you filled up your gas tank this week and felt your wallet cry, you're not alone. The Israel-Iran conflict sent oil prices soaring, and Wall Street traders are sweating harder than a tourist in Death Valley. Oil prices spiked, but global equities remain resilient. Markets hate uncertainty, but love volatility. Travel advisories, UK-EU warn against Middle East trips. Airspace restrictions grow. US federal deficit flagged. GOP's tax and spend plan could add $2.8 trillion. No missile can intercept. That. Germany is on high alert, boosting security at Jewish and Israeli sites after Iran's threats. The US dollar is flexing, the euro is limping, and somewhere a Bitcoin investor is either popping champagne or stress-eating ramen noodles. What does it all mean? So, what's the big picture? Experts say Israel's preemptive strike has changed the Middle East game, but Iran's nuclear ambitions are far from over. Diplomatic efforts are underway, Oman and Qatar are trying to mediate, and President Trump says he can fix everything with the best trade deal ever. Will the US jump in? For now, it's a waiting game, and the world is holding its breath. My advice, don't hold yours. You'll turn blue, and we can't afford another crisis. That's it for today's Whirlwind World Tour. If you enjoyed the ride, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a moment of global drama. Drop your hottest take in the comments. Which world leader would win in a karaoke battle? Trump, Putin, or Netanyahu? Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, if the world's on fire, at least we've got marshmallows. See you next time on News Snacks.